So I believe Illuvium will be the best new game of 2024. And I'm not just talking about a certain genre of gaming or Web3 gaming. I'm talking about just gaming in general. I'm very bullish on Illuvium, and here are the 6 reasons why. So number 1 is just the nostalgia that you get when you play Illuvial and you're looking at the characters. The Illuvials are very similar to Pokemon. And a lot of people who are involved in the Illuvium community now are, between the ages of 25, 30, and upwards of 40, 45 years old. That community of people grew up with Pokemon. And now they're at the age where they have money to spend. So instead of 20, 25 years ago asking mommy and daddy to buy you some Pokemon cards, this community has real jobs and money to put into this game. They see this game as a chance to get in brand new at the beginning of an IP like Pokemon that has a lot of promise to be around for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And when you see the work that the team have put in to make every Illuvial unique, every one of you out there is going to find an Illuvial that you just feel attached to. Where it might have been Bulbasaur or Charmander, Squirtle, whatever it was with Pokemon, you're going to find your equivalent in Illuvium. And it's going to take you back, and it's going to feel good. So number 2 is the gameplay. And really, it's not just one specific type of game. Illuvium has a game out there for everybody right now. And if they don't have a game specifically for you, it's probably coming real soon. They've got the overworld, where it's like similar to that Pokemon, where you're going out roaming around an overworld, catching Illuvials. Now this is going to be great just for those casual players who might be playing, a couple nights a week or maybe on the weekends. Also great for those collectors who just want to go around and try to collect them all. Then there's the auto battler, which is going to be your competitive scene for those esports and competitive players. The people who want to play PvP versus their friends or in big tournaments. And this is also a great place for investors. Now, this is different than most games because of the way it's set up with blockchain technology, with the NFTs and coins. Investors actually have a place in this economy. Investors that want to play, and also investors that may want to fund other players in this game and possibly get some good returns. So speaking of that, number 3 is ownership. Just about every item or resource you can collect in Illuvium is an NFT on the blockchain, which means you truly own it. A lot of other traditional, Web2 games have in their terms of service that you can't buy and trade from somebody else. Whatever you accumulate for resources in-game is not actually yours. It's owned by the game. We'll throw that idea out the window because Illuvium is completely different. When you catch one of these Illuvials, it's yours. You have the freedom, and it's actually encouraged that you trade away what you don't like. Sell what you have and don't need so you can buy some of the things that you do need off of other players. This isn't going to be one of those play-to-earn games where you just play and you earn a little bit of a coin. You're going to be playing and collecting these Illuvials, and the reason they have value is because there's going to be players on the competitive side of things that don't want to spend the time to go out into the overworld and catch these. So they're going to be looking at the market to build out their teams. So number 4 is interoperability. Like I mentioned before, if Illuvium doesn't have a game for you, it will soon. They have 4 that are going to be launching right away, with plans of at least 5 more over the next 5 to 10 years. Now, once you catch an Illuvial in the overworld, you'll be able to bring it into multiple games. You'll be able to bring it into the arena for that auto battler. If Illuvium develops a first-person shooter, you'll be able to take it into the first-person shooter. If there's a kart racing game, you can take those same Illuvials to whatever game that fits your style and use them there. And I also see a future of third-party gaming studios building out more games to use these same NFTs. These Illuvials are just going to gain more and more value over time because of increased utility. And number 5, we have the tokenomics. So on the NFT side, similar to how Pokemon would work, we're going to have multiple waves. So right now, we're looking forward to that first wave, and that's all we know. There's about 185 Illuvials in this first wave. At some point, whether that be a year or 2 down the road, that wave is going to end. And there'll be no way to catch those in the overworld anymore. So think about that set with Pokemon, with your Charizard and your Pikachu. Imagine if once that first game ended, once Pokemon Red and Blue were done, you could never catch those again. Well, that's what it's going to be with Illuvium. So once that second set comes out, you'll go into the overworld, you'll only see the Illuvials from that second set. And if new players come in and they want some of those Illuvials from the first set, they're going to have to look at the players who were there and caught them to buy them off of. And when you factor in fusion, so unlike Pokemon where you get to a certain level and you can evolve it to the next stage, in Illuvium you're going to have to take 3 stage 1s, fuse them together to get a stage 2, and then 3 stage 2s to fuse together to get that final stage Illuvial. So over time, as these Illuvials are fused together, there becomes less and less of them. So you get that deflationary aspect. And then on the token side of things, they're doing something they're calling revenue distribution, which is something that's never been seen before. And in theory, it seems too good to be true. So when a player goes into Overworld, there is a free-to-play version, but if they want to play to get those higher tier alluvials and get more out of the game, they're going to have to pay some money. What Illuvium is going to do with that revenue that they bring in is they're actually going to take that, go back out on the market and buy that ILV token. Then they're going to take that token and they're going to distribute it back to all of the people who own and stake their ILV. So you increase the player base, they pay more to play the game. Illuvium takes that, buys more ILV off the market, which raises the ILV price, distributes it out to the players who are now feeling good because they've basically got free money, and they're going to take that, put it back into the game, and it's just going to keep that cycle going. Again, nothing that's ever been seen before, and I think this is going to make it one of the top investments of the next 5 to 10 years. But that is definitely not financial advice. And last but not least, number 6 is just the community. So Illuvium first came onto the scene back in early 2021. At least that's when I saw it. It might have been really late 2020. But there's a lot of people who got in around that time. They saw the potential in this game. They rode it up a little bit during the bull market. And then there was a big crash in the crypto and really all markets. And there was, I want to say, a core part of the community, but there's still a large amount. There are thousands and thousands of people who have been in this community for years, preparing themselves and being involved in this community just for this game. People like myself who've been making YouTube videos week after week during the past 2+ years. Find me another game that has this strong of a community and group of content creators that are all friends with each other and stuck it out for years without an actual game. Well, the game is finally coming. By the time you see this, the PvP should be already out on the Epic Games Store, which is going to be November 28th, 2023. And by Q1 of 2024, we're expecting the full game to be released on the blockchain. I know I'm excited. If you've been in this community for a long time, I know you're excited. And if you're someone new who's just seeing Illuvium trending right now, seeing the ILV coin pumping, know that it's not out of just hype. We've been here for a long time. We know what Illuvium has to offer, and we're ready.